everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Two Peas in the Podcast. Episode 20. Yes, we've made it to another 10. We're doing really well. But we're so happy that you're here and that you've come back to join us. For those who don't know us, where have you been? My name is Katie. I'm here in the UK. And my glamorous, beautiful co-host is...
My name is Jessica. I am here in America. I was wondering, Katie, for episode 21, do you want to do a tipsy one?
I would, but you don't drink, so that would be funny.
I don't, but I would do a glass of wine for the podcast. I would literally be shit-faced.
You would, and with the time difference, because Jess is literally 5 hours behind me here. Like, that would be an early tips, right?
Get drunk and then go play with my plants.
Yeah, like talking to them. Hello, good morning.
I'd wake up in the morning and be like, why are all my plants gone? Like,
oh, bless you. But anyway, look, we are here for another fabulous podcast as ever. And we know if you watched the last episode, we left it. Normally we say what we're going to talk about next time, but we didn't really know. We hadn't really discussed it. And then Jess messaged me, 3 or 4 days ago, and was like, I know what I want to talk about. So you're introducing this as if it's your idea.
Yeah, I'm not a big like pop culture type of person. Like, I don't really stay up with the times. Usually I get my news from Katie. Like, she'll literally let me know what's going on with celebrities in the world and my politics and all of that. But I was just browsing through the internet and something came across my feed about Pamela Anderson and her not wearing makeup. Now, this was like, I think years ago that she came out without makeup. Yeah. So I'm really behind on this. But what really shocked me was how shocked everybody was that a woman was not wearing makeup, especially a woman like Pamela Anderson, and like going to like red carpet events without makeup and, you know, just not trying to cover her wrinkles or her dark circles or whatever, you know, natural things that everybody has, not trying to cover them. And what really made me want to do this podcast topic was just the utter shock that everybody was in. I was like, are we that out of touch that a woman, it's like, it's on like all these news outlets. Like, you even said that it was like on major news outlets over there. Yeah. Like, that she wasn't wearing makeup. I'm like, is that really newsworthy? Like, oh my God. So that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about beauty standards, the pressure specifically for women, because I do know that there are, I guess if you want to call them beauty standards for men too, we know that, but we are not men. And so we don't know their struggles. We're going to talk about what women go through.
Yes, exactly. That's the thing. You know, we had a brief chat about Pamela Anderson when you first messaged me. And of course, if I said Pamela Anderson to you, what comes into your head instantly?
Baywatch.
Right. The red swimsuit, the big boobs, the blonde hair, and the makeup, right? That was her 90s classic look. And how many guys, like, oh my God, she was the pinup, right? How many guys had a poster of her in their bedroom, right? That she was the beauty standard back in the 90s. Well, one of them. And so for her to come out all these years later, I mean, she's a woman of a certain age now, and to not look like that, it's almost like they're offended. But hey, she's not that person anymore. Shocker, right? It's insane.
Yeah, I think she did Baywatch when she was like in her early 20s.
Yeah.
So it would be weird for her to still look like that at 50, 60 years old. Like, that would be weird.
She can't win. If she did come out and try to look like what she did, they'd be criticizing her.
Yes.
Right? They'd be going, oh, look, she can't age gracefully. She's mutton dressed as lamb, and, you know, and she's had work done, and like all these things. Like, as a woman, you can't win.
Yeah. No, and that's something that like what really motivated me to do this topic for this podcast was because I think back, and it's like there's always a beauty standard or something put on women, like just starting with makeup. It's like you're always expected to put something on your face as a woman, you know, and this episode might be a little controversial because we might be like comparing to men, but I'm going to go ahead and do that, where men get to wake up, splash some water on their face, make sure there's no boogers in their nose. And you know what I mean? And that's like maybe make sure they're shaved up or whatever, and then they get to walk out the door. And nobody is going to look at them if they have wrinkles. Nobody's going to look at them if they have dark circles. Nobody's going to say anything if they look a little tired or whatever. But women are expected to be dolled up and glammed up all the time. Like,
yep.
And people say it's not an expectation, but then we have these things like, well, if you really want to know what she looks like, take her swimming on the first date, you know? And I don't know. I think it's not a good thing.
No, it's not, because there is the message that comes with it is that we are not enough as we are.
Yeah.
That we are not beautiful, pretty, sexy, whatever in our own skin, that we have to have all these products slapped on our face constantly to be deemed beautiful. And yet at the same time, the amount of comments I've seen, because now, of course, one of the things with Snapchat and Instagram and TikTok is that a lot of photos now are filtered, right?
Yeah.
And so a lot of comments come like, oh, people can't even just be natural anymore. They've always got to have the filter on. And then you meet them in real life and it's like a disappointment. But at the same time, it's the mixed messaging drives me insane.
Yeah, and it is a big issue of mixed messaging, because we put these standards on people, women in particular, and then demonize them at the same time for trying to live up to these standards. Yeah. And it's not just with makeup, it's about looking younger, staying looking younger, not being able to age, which is something that's normal. I mean, when you think about your grandmother or even your mother, she didn't look like your classmate. It would be weird if your mom looked exactly like you, right? Like, it would be weird, because that's normal. It's natural to age. And also, it's a blessing to age. Yeah. Not a lot of people get to grow older. Some people get their light snuffed out way too early. So the fact that you are able to age and you're able to have grays and to have, you know, maybe your skin leathers up or gets wrinkly or whatever, that is actually a blessing, you know?
I mean, I saw a quote, I can't remember the quote, but basically any scar or any mark is a tiger. You've earned your stripes, right?
Yeah.
Like when I smile, I have a lot of laughter lines now, but I don't see that as a bad thing. I see that shows that I'm a really happy, smiley person. I smile and laugh really easily. So
it means that you've had a happy life, or at least you've laughed regardless.
Yeah.
Right. One thing about me, which people can't really tell because I wear my glasses a lot, is I have really, which you can't really, because I wore makeup. That's the irony of today's episode, is I'm all glammed up for this episode. I don't usually wear makeup, but I have really dark circles to the point where, because I'm a little anemic. And so without any makeup on, if you're in person with me, you can see I have dark circles, and it doesn't matter how much I sleep or how much I don't sleep. It just is what it is, you know? But I've had people, my mother, bless her soul in particular, would be like, oh my God, I really worry about you. Your dark circles, you need to get sleep. I'm just like, Mom, this is my face. I don't know what to say.
Absolutely. And of course, the other side of it, you know, we both got children.
Yeah.
My daughter is 13 and is obsessed. I mean, yes, she's neurodivergent, but she is obsessed with skincare and makeup. Like, I can't even begin to tell you. It's all she wants to spend her money on. It's all she talks about. We live in an area of the UK where we don't have Sephora, but if we did, she would live there. It's all she talks about. It's like, and she's 13, and I'm thinking, and I know, like, if I say anything, because she's 13, she'll go, oh, time to change, Mom. It's different now, Mom, right? The attitude. But all I can think about, like, I think I would I'd have a bit of, spot treatment, because I had a bit of acne, even back then, and a bit of cleanser. That was my skincare. And the makeup was a bit of lip gloss and a bit of clear mascara. Like, it's insane. I watch her and I'm thinking, she's basically doing the same routine I am. And I'm like 31 years older than her.
Yeah, when I was younger, my routine was pretty much similar to yours. Like, I had to put a lot of lotion on, because with having darker skin, you get ashy. So I always had to put lotion on. So I would just put some lotion on my face. And again, just like some cleanser, you know, like. And then I didn't start getting into makeup until maybe like I was in high school.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, how bad is it going to get? Are they going to come back? You're going to give birth to a baby girl and they're going to have a makeover artist at the delivery room.
Literally, there's like this reel out there where this girl, like, she did her daughter's eyebrows. It was a joke because when her husband got home, she wanted him to see her eyebrows like on fleek, as the kids used to say. It was the most hilarious thing ever. Like this little baby with like these perfectly done eyebrows. But yeah, I mean, you know, my daughter, she's 18, but for a while she's been really into makeup, hair. You know this. We talk about this all the time. Sometimes I don't know who's gonna come out of the bedroom. Like she comes like so she'll have green hair, she'll have purple hair, she'll have no eyebrows, she'll have super thin eyebrows, she'll have bush. Like this is somebody who like she really is into makeup and she always has been, you know? And yeah. I tell her all the time, honey, you're beautiful just the way you are. And then, of course, I get hit with, well, how do you know I'm doing this? Because I don't think I'm beautiful. I'm just expressing myself. I'm like, okay, I get it. I'm just saying that you are beautiful the way that you are.
Oh, I know. Absolutely. You know? And of course, there's that quote that says, in a society that proffers off your self-doubt, loving yourself is a rebellious act.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the thing, you know, all of the beauty industry, the clothing industries, the skincare industries, they want you not to like yourself. They want you to see yourself as a problem. They want you to have like 1,000 products on your nightstand because that's how they say business.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, if you're thinking that you're fine just the way you are, or that it's normal, it's natural to have skin imperfections and age and stuff, you're not going to buy their products. And let's just face it, the fashion beauty industry is probably one of the most lucrative industries that we have besides weapons.
Yeah.
You know, in the world. And it's all built off people not being good enough the way that they are. Now, obviously, way back in the day, and I mean like ancient history, people wore makeup. The ancient Egyptians would wear makeup. However, their makeup was not just for beauty standards, but it was also like it had a purpose.
Yeah.
Because in the hot sun, that kohl liner, like especially people in the Middle East or just again in Africa and Egypt, people who wore that kohl liner, it helped with the sun on their eyes and everything. So that was how that actually even came to be. But yeah, I mean, makeup has been around for a while, and it all comes down to, in my personal opinion, this is just my humble opinion, it all comes down to controlling women. Because women have been something that have been looked at as inferior to men since the dawn of time, because we're not as strong or whatever.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, you said to me before we came on that I literally went and had my hair cut, which we'll talk about in a minute. But I raced home because I knew we had this podcast, and I went and put my earrings in, and I put a bit of concealer on, and I put a bit of lipstick on. And you said, but you've always got your red lip on. You always rock a red lip. Bless you. And actually, there is a story about that. So I dated a guy a long time ago. And he was very controlling, emotionally, then physically abusive, quite narcissistic, really. And so didn't like me to wear makeup because his insecurities, he believed that if I was wearing it, I was wearing it to get somebody else's attention, right? Or I would naturally attract someone's attention. He wanted me to be like dowdy and, you know, his, basically. And so, I mean, I came down one day, and I had on, it wasn't even this bright, it was just a very pale pink lipstick, I remember. And he went, take that off, you look like a whore. And me being very controlled and very, well, weaker at the time, I did as I was told, and I took it off, right? And he also liked, again, we'll get onto hair, but he also said that, you know, women have long hair.
Yeah.
So when I eventually left, thank God, the first thing I did was when I got my hair cut, and I rocked a red lip, because it's like, it's a big fuck you to anybody who goes, this is what you're supposed to look like.
Yeah. I also can't stand that whole notion of you're doing it to get attention.
Yeah.
Because self-care is just about that. It's about self-care. If you feel like putting on makeup, put on makeup. If you don't want to wear makeup, don't wear makeup. You want to get your hair done, get your hair done. Most oftentimes it's about making yourself feel better, and it has very little to do with somebody else. I mean, yeah, when we go out on dates or we whatever, sometimes we'll, want to look attractive, but I don't think that women or anybody really in general that wears makeup, that's their goal every day, that they're putting on makeup in the mirror is, I got to look pretty for people that I don't even know if I'm going to meet or I'm going to even run into. Like, it's just ridiculous,
I have never actually, for a long time, you know that I've been single for a really long time. I don't think I've ever, that I can think back of, got ready in the morning thinking, I hope a man looks at me today.
Yeah, no, never.
I dress for me, right?
Never. Like, yeah, dress for me, or like when I was like working and I had like a corporate job and I would have to look like this all the time. It was just so I didn't look like a whole scrub in the corporate meeting with all these people, these important people. It was never about, because Prince Charming might walk through the door, like yeah. It's funny because with your experience, I've had quite the opposite experience with men in specific. I've always been asked to kind of do more. So, like, put on the makeup, do the hair, wear the form-fitting clothes, wear the high heels. Yeah. We talked about that last podcast. We all know how I hate high heels. Wear the tights and do all this stuff because that's where your worth is at, I remember one time I had posted a selfie and I had this like meaningful, and it was on my YouTube too, but I had posted a selfie and I had like this meaningful quote about self-love and everything that went with it. And then somebody commented, and I think this was actually a female that commented this, but she said, "You're beautiful, Jess. Say less." Meaning like the selfie was all that was needed. I didn't really need to say, nobody cares about your words. They care about this, the money maker, right? It's like, and I told them to fuck off and then I blocked them. But it was just kind of one of those things where it's just like, and that's kind of been my issue with men my whole life, is that I do have a very powerful mind. I am very direct. I am very commanding with my communication. I do tell the truth and tell it like it is. And so men have always wanted me to just be quiet. Yeah. I've actually, and it's very vulgar, so I'm sorry if this is triggering to anybody, but I've actually had a man tell me before, "You're talking too much. You either need a D in your mouth or food."
And he's alive?
And that was on a date.
And he's alive?
Well, yeah. Because like he went off and married somebody else and like, did his own thing. But I was younger and I wasn't like who I am now. So I was just kind of like, wow, and feeling like really like shocked that he had even said that to me. But that was actually like on a date. And we had been dating for a while. So it wasn't like the first date or anything, but.
Jesus. Can you imagine if a guy said that to you now? He wouldn't live very long.
I'd probably just tell him off, and read him his rights and everything. But yeah, sure. That's, or I just block him. I tend to just move away from people now. But yeah, that was really crazy. I've had quite a few experiences. One of the things I want to talk about for me personally, where I've actually had an experience of a stranger calling me out on my beauty standards this was years ago. And this was when I was dating, I don't want to say his name, but it was the guy that I was dating before I was with my son's father. And he was one of the most significant relationships that I ever had. He was the one that I was with when I had lost over 100 pounds in a year. He was somebody who genuinely accepted me for who I was. Like, I've never met anybody else that has, as far as a man, that has like really accepted me fully the way that he did. Like that's one of his things that he will always have in my life, is that he really accepted me for who I was. And I was like on my weight loss journey. And by this point I was down like 70 pounds or whatever. So I was considerably smaller. And, I, for some reason, just decided I'm going to start growing out my underarm hair, my armpit hair. Okay. Which is a big no-no for women, because we're not supposed to have hair, even though we are born with it on our bodies.
Absolutely.
It's disgusting for women, right? And he was all for it because, again, incredibly sweet guy, very accepting, was not threatened, didn't find me to be less sexy or anything like that. We actually have a selfie somewhere. I don't know where it's at. I probably deleted it by now, where both of us had our arms up in the mirror and we both had like long underarm hair. And I remember one day I was in the store with him and we were at the checkout lane and he had mentioned, I forget what it was, but he had mentioned that we forgot to pick up something.
Right.
And I had a tank top on and I was like, oh man, I think it's over there. And I pointed like that. And this old guy behind us went, ugh, why don't you shave your underarms? That's disgusting. And I was so shocked that somebody had even said that to me, because usually, like, sad as it is, you expect to hear that kind of stuff from people that you know more than just random strangers on the street. Well, I didn't even have a chance because my boyfriend at the time, he went and got right up in this old man's face. And like, you know, this was the sweetest guy, the most soft spoken guy, like he never yelled at me, like anything. So I was really shocked that he had done that. And he was like 6'4", so it was a little intimidating because he was extremely tall. And he's like, why don't you tell me I'm disgusting? Right. And I was just like, whoa, you know, it was really nice, but it was at the same time, I was a little shocked. And of course, because it was a man in his face, the old man didn't say anything. He just kind of was like, ooh, you know, but he kind of like just stared him down a little bit and then we walked off. But it was nice to be stood up for, but I was just like, it was deflating. And sad to say, I did go home and shave my underarms.
I know.
And it was really like, because men can have underarm hair and it's not looked at as disgusting or unhygienic. But if women have hair, it's the same thing. Why is it considered unhygienic? In fact, hair actually protects you from dirt and bacteria and stuff. So that's why we have it.
Yeah.
So why was it disgusting that I had underarm hair, but not that my boyfriend had underarm hair?
Yeah. Again, talking about pop culture, I remember back in the, would have been 2000s, I think, maybe late 90s, Julia Roberts did it. She went to the Cannes Film Festival with a red dress on and she was waving to the crowds and and it wasn't a lot, but she definitely had underarm hair. And of course, all the media went mental because a woman dared to grow her underarm hair. Oh.
I know, and it's really a shame. And I know that there's like jokes about when you're single, like we don't shave our legs. Then when we get in a relationship, we shave our legs. And then after we've been in the relationship for like 3 years, we stop shaving our legs again. I know that there's like a joke about that. I'll be completely transparent. Right now, my underarms are not shaved because I don't really like to shave my underarms. Like when they grow out, it itches. I get a rash sometimes. And I don't mind how it looks. It does not look ugly to me. It actually looks pretty metal to me to have like underarm hair. But I do shave my legs. I try to keep them shaved because I don't like how it feels on my sheets and stuff. So it's like I spot shave what feels good and then I leave what doesn't. But there is a part of me that thinks like if I get a boyfriend, which is a big if, do I need to shave my legs or my arms, or will I expect it to be shaving my underarms? Like, I don't know.
I mean, I am the warning to be careful with that stuff anyway, because how many years ago now? 4, maybe, something like that. If you remember, I ended up with abscesses. Do you remember? I had 3 in a row. I had 2 on my back and 1 on my arm and when I spoke to the doctor, he said, you know, I said, well, why do you think this is happening? Why do you think keeps recurring? And he said, how often do you shave your armpits? And I went, at that point, I went, what, every other day? And he went, that's why. You're irritating the skin. And I was like, oh, because no one ever tells you this stuff.
No, because you're supposed to be hairless.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a fine balance, right? I mean, now, yes, I do shave my armpits, but I don't do it religiously. I do it when I get to the point where I think I could put a plait in it, you know, and make a little ribbon and
I like to do it like every just in a blue moon, I'll go, you know what? I fancy shaving my underarms. So for the most part, I actually don't mind it. I like the hair, which is what I feel like is weird. I remember when I was in that whole kick of not shaving, like I didn't shave my underarms for a year. So like when that old man said that he had broken my year streak of not shaving my underarms. But I remember like, even my dad would say like, Jessica, shave your underarms. And my mom would be like, hey, you leave her alone, right? Like she would just like, my mom was like, I don't know, sometimes she would be on my side, other times she wouldn't be. But just like, Dad, when you shave your underarms, I'll shave mine.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
You know?
It's crazy. I mean, talking about hair, I know that one of the things you wanted to talk about was this, right?
Yes.
So I haven't always rocked this. My hair has been various lengths throughout my life. At one point when I was younger, I could sit on my hair. It was that long.
Yeah.
And I might have very thick hair, really thick hair, and it's a lot of upkeep. I rock the bangs because Fringe, the UK viewers, because it's cheaper than Botox. So I have quite a long face, so that's me. But the reason I cut this all off 2 years ago, I think I was something like that. I was going on school pickup. For those who don't know, I have twins, and I went into the school playground, and I just happened to. I'm a people watcher, not in a creepy way, not in like I'll stare you down and kind of watch you go kind of way, but I just like I'm a people watcher, is who I am. And I was looking around while I was waiting for them to come out, and I realised there is a bit of a uniform for mums in the playground. They all, and it's not announced, but we've all got long hair that they wear up, either in a bun or a ponytail or something. And they all had these jackets on with the hoods with the fur around. And I was like, oh my God. I felt like a Stepford wife. It was weird. And I was like, oh, I need to go and get a colour cut off. And I didn't tell anybody. The only person I told was my eldest. And he's great. He was like, yeah, go for it, Mum. So I went and to the hairdressers and I said, oh, and at this point my hair was probably at chest level. And I said, can I cut it short? I want to chop it all off. And even the hairdresser was really nervous. She was like, are you sure? And I think I've had short hair before. I know I suit short hair, but she was like, would you want me to go to here in case you don't like it? And I went, no, chop it all off, please. I'm paying you, cut my hair. And I remember seeing one of my friends, and when she first saw me, she thought I had my hair tied back until I turned around and she went, oh, I was just, but what's interesting to me is there's a belief, I suppose, for some people that women carry trauma in their hair. So I see a lot of women at the moment, like literally, we were joking before we came on, buzz cutting it. And it's the freedom just to let go of this, what we should look like.
Right? Yeah.
But the reaction from other people is fascinating because some people, normally women, I'll be honest with you, are like, girl, you look fine, you look fierce, it suits you, blah, blah, blah. A lot of guys don't like it because it's not feminine enough. And if you've watched the dating episode, you'll know that when I was on dating app, the reason I came off was because some guy messaged me and said this. He wasn't say hi. His opening message was, I know you're a guy, you're not fooling anybody, do me a favor and fuck off, and then block me. Why? Because I have short hair. Oh my God, I don't look like a woman. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it really is. And it's first of all, you look great with your short hair. Just want to say that, like, yeah, you really do, and it's, again, it's just preference. Like, if somebody wants to have short hair, have short hair. Have long hair, have long hair. Like, I have long hair. I love long hair, and that's why I have long hair. Plus my face shape, I'm on the thicker side. It's just not set up for short hair. Like, I feel like I would look like an overweight Willy Wonka if I had short hair. I'm so serious, y'all. Okay. So I like my long hair, but I am somebody that cuts off my hair when I go through something really severe. Like if I go through like a serious loss or a serious heartbreak, like I am somebody who will just chop it, but I never chop it too short. It's always like to right here maybe is the shortest that I'll go. But yeah, I think it's something that's expected for women to have longer hair. My mom, as I was telling you, she went through that too. My mom went most of my childhood growing up. I remember her having extremely long hair, and then it would, like, over time, just shorter. And I remember my dad even saying like, "Oh God, stop cutting your hair. Your hair's beautiful. Leave it alone." Da da da. She's like, "It's not about it being beautiful. It's about I like it short." You know. Yeah. She didn't want to have to do anything to it. She was always wearing it up anyways. So she figured, why not just have a style? And so she would get her hair short, and by the end of her life, her hair was pretty short, and she loved it. The shorter, the better.
That's true. It reminds me where I used to live in the UK, I would go to a regular hairdresser there, and I had long hair at the time, but I was always tying it back. And he said to me, "Kate, what's the point? What's the point of having long hair if you're always putting it up?"
Yeah.
Time. And he said, actually, long hair only really looks immaculate if you spend a lot of money and time. Women who, in the magazines and the TV shows and the movies, they've got all of the like shiny, luscious, glossy locks. That's because they have hairstylists. And when you're a mom, and I was teaching at the time, I would just literally wash it and shove it up in a bun because I thought, well, at least it's out of the way.
Yeah, well, that's how my hair is. Yeah, 99% of the time is up in a bun. Yeah. This is because I want to look presentable on a podcast. Let's just be real here. Like most of the time, my hair is up, messy bun. It's curly. My hair is a curly mess, which I still haven't been brave enough to actually wear my curly hair on the podcast. I always like today I was going to, and then last minute I was like, no. And I went because it takes me like literally 10 minutes to just quickly flat iron my hair. So I don't know. There's we still have these weird things that we are programmed for, even though we know that it's wrong. Like just rock your natural hair, maybe one of these days I will. But I don't know, I don't know why we do the things that we do. But I can say that my hair I don't have a lot of products in it. I don't do a lot to it. It's very dry and crispy, and I got gray hairs everywhere, and
you got beautiful hair.
So
it really suits you. That's the thing. And that's, again, it's about rocking what you feel suits you, right?
Yeah.
It's not about what other people say or think or what's considered beautiful or feminine. It's what you feel. Because as we said last time, beauty is confidence. Mm-hmm. If you feel good, you're going to look good. It's not about what other people say you should and shouldn't do.
Right.
And I remember back in the 90s, because, 90s R&B till I die. Forever. And I know a lot of the Black artists would say they were really encouraged strongly to straighten their hair, in almost to be like that transition, that crossover for a white audience were almost like the epitome of making themselves they couldn't rock their natural look.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say that I think that that's probably part of my programming too, and why I'm always like, no, I got to wear my hair straight. Because growing up, like my hair used to be super, super curly. Like my dad literally has pictures on his wall of me with a fro. It's not like that anymore when I have my natural hair. It's just lots of curls, but it used to be very much like a fro that I had at one point. And all I wanted was straight hair. Like all I wanted in the whole world. I would have sold my little brother. If somebody would have told me that I could have straight hair, like I would have given up anything for straight hair. So I remember my mom, she bought me a flat iron when I was probably around, I want to say like 14, 15, something like that. And oh my God, it was the best thing ever. And I just sat there and constantly flat ironed my hair. And like, it was just like, all I wanted was straight hair. Mm. And I remember one day my papa, because my grandfather, he actually happened to have really curly hair, even though he was white. And he said, people go to the salon and they pay hundreds to get perms to have curly hair like you. Like they pay hundreds of dollars. Yep. And here you are just straightening it away. It's really that sentiment of like the grass is always greener.
Always. My mum rocked a perm in the 80s. I think everybody did, right?
Was when it was in. I grew up in the 90s and the early 2000s when it was, stick figure, super straight hair, super thin eyebrows. These cheeks were not trending, guys.
Which is an interesting point, actually, because I was watching a video last week and it was talking about Marilyn Monroe. Mm. Now, Marilyn Monroe is still to this day considered to be one of the most beautiful women that ever graced our pleasant land. Right. And it doesn't matter your sexuality. Everyone admits that she was a beautiful woman. Very troubled, obviously. But they were talking about the fact that she always had a belly. And like, if you go back and look at her in her dresses and all of that, she always had a little tum tum in her, as part of her look. She never had control pants on or a girdle or anything. And she was considered sexy, beautiful. She was curvaceous. She wasn't stick thin. And that's the point, is that beauty standards change.
Yes.
And if you try and keep up with it, you're going to drive yourself insane. You're going to spend a lot of money. You're going to potentially do things that are very dangerous. I mean, look at everything with the Nicki Minaj and Kim Kardashian butt implant lifts things and having this bottom that kind of sticks out like a shelf.
Yeah, it's weird.
People are, and I'm not saying if you want to have plastic surgery and cosmetic procedures, do you. I am feminist to the core. I think your woman, do you. If it makes you happy, as long as you're safe, I don't care. The point is that if you try and keep up with the beauty standards, it's too much pressure.
Yeah, it really is. And like you said, beauty standards, they change.
Yeah.
And also depending on cultures too.
Yeah.
Because there are many, many cultures out there where a bigger person is actually a sign of beauty or wealth. Whereas then some cultures, the thinner that you are, the more beautiful that you are. So it really just depends. But yeah, Marilyn Monroe definitely considered one of the most beautiful. And she was, I think, like a size 14 or a size 16 or something like that. Like she wasn't necessarily small, but she had curves in all the right places, as people will say. But it's just really interesting. Like, I don't know. It's one of those things where it makes it really hard and it makes it terrifying when you have a daughter. Like it's horrifying to think about how, they're going to be judged, how they're going to judge themselves, the standards are going to be put on them.
Yeah.
It's absolutely horrible,
Oh, tell me about it. I mean, as you know, my daughter doesn't look her age. She's about the same height as me. She's hit puberty, so she has a figure. But she's also neurodivergent. So physically she looks 15. Emotionally, sometimes she's like 8 or 9, right? Mm-hmm. So, but I catch men looking at her and I want to go and, oh God, I can feel my inner lion. I want to just go, she's 13.
Yeah.
Not dependent on what she's wearing. It's not about if she's got like short shorts on and a crop top. She will get looked at regardless of it. She's been looked at in her school uniform. It's so gross, and it makes me.
Well, I was gonna say, like, school uniforms are kind of sexualized.
I know,
which is really sad that they are.
Hello. I agree. The whole Britney Spears "Hit Me Baby One More Time." I mean, yeah, that's the thing. They are, but it's so gross. It's so gross that when you've got a daughter, it's like you already see the beauty standards for women are messed up. And then when you have a daughter, it's the whole deeper level of insanity.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's really hard, it's hard. And I guess my takeaway for this podcast for anybody watching is really there was no point of this podcast. It was just us talking just to talk. Yeah. But also at the same time, do what makes you happy.
Amen.
You know what I mean? Like if you want to wear a full face of glam every single day, do it. If you want to not wear anything, if you want to cut your hair, you want to grow it out, you want to grow your underarm hair, your leg hair, or whatever, do what makes you happy and don't feel like you need to be anything else more or less to be loved or accepted. If somebody tells you that you need to wear less makeup, if somebody tells you need to wear more makeup, they don't love you, and that there's somebody else out there that will love you. What that is called control. Yeah,
absolutely. And if they're that keen on things, so, I love a red lipstick, go and buy them one.
Yeah.
If you if you love it that much, you wear it, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with wanting to dress up every once in a while and, whatever. But if that's the standard, if you have to look a certain way to be with your partner, it's control and it's not love. It's not acceptance. Because at the end of the day, all of this fades eventually.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
And if you're with somebody for the long run, like 80, 90 years old, you're not going to look the same way that you looked when you met each other. So you better have something in common or something more than red lipstick.
You better have a damn personality behind the makeup, right?
Yeah. You know, and I think that that's one of the issues, and that's, you know, with what you were talking about with online dating, because, you know, online dating is toxic. Like, it's completely toxic. And,
Yep.
you know, I know because I fell into that trap too, with like where you look at somebody's picture and you're just like, nah, like you're grocery shopping. And I remember telling you that. I remember telling you, like, this feels like weird and like objectifying, like even towards men in a way. Like, you're just almost like you're grocery shopping and like, oh, I don't know, that eyebrow's bigger than that eyebrow now. Now it's like, you know, like, so you know, do online dating if you want to, but me personally, I'm like, I'm going to meet somebody organically. And if I don't, then it's not happening.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I would rather as my nan used to say, God rest her, every pot has a lid. I would think I would rather be my authentic self. And if 99% of the people scroll past me and don't think I'm beautiful or I'm for them, that's fine. Why would I want to be with someone who doesn't think I'm enough anyway? Because with 99%, there will be someone that looks at you that is just thinks you're the best thing in the ever graced the earth. So I think being your most authentic self, whatever that looks like, again, full face of glam, with the hair all preened and beautiful, or you're rocking your natural look, and do you? Because if love and dating is something that really colors your thinking, I would rather be with someone who loves me for who I am.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I want to be with somebody who, as soon as I wake up in the morning, no makeup, nothing on my face, you know, good morning, beautiful, and we go about our day. It's not a whole freaking like meltdown because I don't know.
So I've known women that wake up before their partners and go and get ready and put their makeup on before they wake them up. I've known women who will never let their partner see them naked and will always like, there's some real insecurities out there. And I think, you know, we talked about limiting beliefs before, and I think self-love, you know how passionate I am about that, is really the key to everything. Like, no amount of makeup or hair products is going to change the fact that you do or don't like yourself. It can help, sure, but it's not the magic pill that's going to make everything better.
Yeah, and I think that people who expect perfection from their partners, especially aesthetically, I think those people are often projecting out their own insecurities, because if you are expecting your partner to look perfect, you better look perfect. Like, you better look perfect. You better be like looking like super freaking fine, man. If you're expecting your partner to look fine all the time.
Absolutely.
If you can't dish it out, or you can't whatever, like serve it up, then you shouldn't be dishing it out, basically.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. So yeah, as Jess said, there wasn't any real specific point to this, but we did think it was a really interesting topic. And obviously it's one that we're both passionate about. So, you know, it's just some really interesting things to think about and some interesting takeaways. But the key point is, I think from all of this, is do you, whatever that is, right?
Yep.
Do you.
And don't get caught up in trends, because trends come and go.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, you know, next week it'll be something else that we have to straighten, lift, squeeze, prod, waste some more money on. There'll always be a new project, right?
Right. For sure. Okay. Well, it's your turn to choose what we want to talk about next week.
Well, I will say that next week, the next episode is in 2 weeks, because I'm actually going away next week with the children, just for 5 days. So we will wait for 2 weeks for the next one, and then we will be getting into September. So maybe it's something to do with I don't know, something to do with that, something to do with, I don't know. I'll sit and have a think about it, but that feels significant to me.
Yeah. We could talk about how time flies.
Oh, don't it just? So isn't that something we say to each other every single time?
Every single day. Every single morning.
Like, how is it this day already? Like, what the hell?
And time really does be flying, y'all. Like, it's already, what, the 16th today of August?
Yep.
And I think I notice it like really more and more because I do my daily shorts. And of course, you do your daily cards on Instagram and stuff. So it's like every day we're counting down our lives. It's like, you know?
Yep. Of course, having children, all you see is the school year. So it's just like, yeah, I know. It's a thing.
Somebody said, if you think time is going too fast, get on a treadmill. And that's the truth. That is the truth. Because 5 minutes on a treadmill feels like an hour. Okay. So there's my little tip today. That's my life hack. Get on a treadmill if you think time's going too fast.
Amen to that, sister. Bless you. Anyway, look, guys, we will let you go. We hope that you found this interesting. And as ever, if you have any takeaways, thoughts, comments, experiences, whatever, come in the comments and share. We know we love to read them. And just thank you for being here. You guys are awesome. Be sure to give us a like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And we'll see you on the next one.
All right. Bye.
Bye, guys. Love you. Bye.